we didn't even expect it to do that well. We just loved the idea of we were all experienced chamber music players, and we felt that one always gets to do 80%. You get a few good people together. You have 2, 3, 4 rehearsals for 2 days, and you do the best you can, which is pretty good. But you never really get a chance to fight. You never really get a chance to discuss, to let things seep in, and then see how they come out. It's what you need is a slow simmer over many hours, as opposed to a quick fry.
Right, exactly.
How's that
exactly.
for an analogy? I just thought of it.
Well, musicians and food do go together.
Yeah, don't they? Yeah. So we just were looking forward to an ability to do that, and of course have some concerts. And it coincided, I think, in the late 70s with a big boom in chamber music, and it just took off, and it was incredibly satisfying. And so we I think we'll keep doing this till we drop.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Let's talk a little bit about the Ellen Zwilich work that you'll be performing.
Right.
It is a piano septet, but not in traditional instrumentation. It's you and the strings.
Right. Well, actually, there is no traditional instrumentation of septet. However, all septets that I know are sort of a very weird combination. Strings, winds. So this is, as far as I know, the very first, and as far as Ellen Zwilich knows, the very first piano septet that is written, and it was engendered by two things. Firstly, Ellen has written a lot for us, and we are very close friends, musical friends, personal friends, and also for the Miami String Quartet. So she wanted to do something for her 70th birthday. It's unusual. And also, we have done on and off over the years some projects with some wonderful quartets, with the Miamis, but also with the Emerson String Quartet, and also with the Guarneri String Quartet. And the concerts together were always, we would do a trio, a quartet, and then the most we can do together using all of us is a sextet, string sextets. And we were never on stage, all 7 of us. So that's always sort of gnawed at us that there's except for taking a bow, there's no. And she said, why don't I write a piece that all 7 of you can play? So we jumped at that.
Great. And, I spoke with her recently, and I asked her whether or not you, as the pianist, would be in something of a spotlight in a sort of concerto role against these strings.
I told her first off that it shouldn't be the case. And she said it helped her a lot formulate the piece when I said that, because the tendency is to do that. The tendency is to have a string sextet, which is a fantastic sonority, and it's easier to write for, and then sort of the piano would stand alone. But I thought then it would be a concerto, and it's not right. So I told her I didn't tell her what to do. I don't compose. I have no idea what to do. But I just told her what not to do. And that sort of opened the floodgate, she said, for her. And if you look at the music, the partnering is constantly shifting. So for a minute, the piano is with my 2 colleagues, so we play as a trio, and then the piano is with the quartet, and then 2 of the cellos of the 2 cellists on stage, 1 unit, and 4 violins, and 3 violins are another. So it's constantly shifting. So you can never really. It makes it harder, because you can't sort of just watch one person. You have to watch all other 6 at all times.
But it becomes then true chamber music, because all parts are equal.
Exactly. And you cannot. Nobody's grouped. Which is very nice. Yeah.
And you'll also be doing on that program the Dvorak Quintet, which has to be one of the most delicious pieces of chamber music ever written.
That's the word to describe it. Yeah. We have, unfortunately, we have gotten stuck as because of some critics, but not only critics, assuming that if something is singable and tunable, it couldn't be sophisticated, or it couldn't be really great, and that is in good French BS. Because yes, it doesn't guarantee that it's sophisticated and good, but Dvorak and a few others give the lie to that, because it is such intricate and deep and sophisticated and complex and not simplistic music, and yet the tunes just keep coming out like an incredible wealth.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's perfect because it has everything, and I still feel, and not only I, a lot of my fellow musicians feel that Dvorak, for all his popularity, is still underestimated, because people still think that it's wonderful to listen to and it's warm, but it is, but it is so meticulously written and constant. I mean, I've played it a few thousand times. No, not quite, but it feels like that. And every time I play, I say, "Hey, I never noticed that."
Right, exactly. It's the sign of a masterpiece.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you, the trio, will get together for some Schubert also, and I guess
that's for the other.
For another concert.
Yeah, because there's a Boccherini string quintet on that concert.
Right.
So this way, everybody gets to play with everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But for the coffee concert, I think they call it the coffee concert. The next morning, we are doing a Schubert morning. Yeah.
And again, just some wonderful, glorious music. In many ways, like Dvorak, just because it's so spontaneous and beautiful.
Right, exactly. And that the E-flat Schubert Trio is one of his deepest pieces in terms of it goes through a tremendous gamut. It has his usual, in German they call it Gemütlichkeit, sort of pleasant Viennese feeling, but it also has tremendous symphonic strength, like in the first movement, and tremendous emotional depth in the slow movement.
Yes. And
the last movement combines it all together. And that was one of the very few pieces. He died in September of his 31st year, which is kind of ridiculous when you think of it. In March of that year, which is half a year before, there was the only public concert of his works that he attended. I mean, he was so undervalued. He had those private things with his friends at home where he did a lot of songs, but very few people published anything during his lifetime, and certainly they didn't devote a concert to his works. That in March 1828 they did, and that piece was played. So it's a special piece in his life, and it's one of his greatest, because it does really sum up his short life, but it was at the end of his life.